I was just happy to get images of cool costumes, and I still am. But like when I started, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! Like this is great! This is amazing!" I was just fanboying over everybody. I was so annoyed. I'm sure I was annoyed. But yeah, so as I started posting, it wasn't really, I didn't think too much about the quality of the image. I was just geeked about getting Black Panther at a cool angle, you know? So it was very simplistic. But as I started to see other photographers and how they worked, I started to learn from them and go like, okay, the framing is important. Okay, it's important to get some bokeh so you don't see all the people in the background. And there's that gradual building of knowledge. So over time, like after a while, I graduated to a full camera. And shout out to my parents for like hooking me up with like my first starter camera. That camera lasted like 3 years. It was so dope. I loved it. Like 90% of my photos are with it. And then, you know, after that, it's as much about the image as it is learning this machine and how it works. So that kind of meticulousness begins there for me because the camera is so much more complicated than a phone, and I have so much more to think about and reckon with. And the potential for good images is higher, but the potential for failure is also super, super high. And it's about navigating that. So getting to play with that dynamic was really important and started to, you know, make me have to get better to justify the increasingly high cost of indulging in photography. Because it's like you can't not get at least decent. Just spent like all this money on it. I
I
think
know
that
that
helps.
feeling,
Yeah.
bro. I know that feeling. And then you start looking at your supplies and you're like, I don't even need this. My pictures look like trash.
Right. Oh my God. And then you have those like frustrating, like dark nights of the soul where you're like, man, why did I even do this? Why did I get into this? And all it takes is that one person to go like, hey, that's pretty cool. And you're like, you know what? I'm dope. And then you just keep doing it. That's why engagement is so important to artists. It really fuels you. It keeps you going. Shouting out other artists who influenced you as you begin to, you know, create more work is super important. Nowadays, I've gotten to the point where I'm fairly confident in just what a good image from me looks like. Usually, I've learned how to, you know, retouch a little bit and frame it in just the right way and get the shadows the way I like it. And it becomes almost like mechanical, but in a good way. It's like I've just done it so many times. I don't need to think too much about certain basic things, but each image still has its own unique quality. And I like to take risks with weird colors, and that's based off like manga and anime, like and cosplay. Like I'm used to seeing people with blue hair, so when I edit color tones, it's like, you know, I could screw with the hair a little bit, make it weird. Why not? See what happens. And because there's so little room for failure, as long as the technical side of the image is okay, as long as it's lit well and it's sharp, you can kind of do whatever. And I love that flexibility and that play that happens with it. So that's kind of where I am right now. Right now, I'm playing with a new format every like 6 months or something. I like to switch up the way my whole page looks. And I realized that if I post several photos at once, like a collage, not a collage, but like the carousel thing that Instagram lets you do, I've noticed that the algorithm kind of resurfaces that post for new people throughout the day, which is kind of cool. So if I want people to see my work, I can kind of make a stacked image and then show kind of the alternates all in that one post. And it kind of encourages me to post less because I can go a couple weeks without posting. And it's no big deal. I just gave you like 9 photos this week technically, and it makes each individual post way better, I think, because I only pick the very best ones, the ones that I really love. But part of it also is communication. Like as I've gotten better at shooting, I've also gotten better at showing the photos to the model or the subject and just letting them kind of choose what they love. Sometimes I let them post first and just figure out, okay, they like that one the best. That's cool. And I'll wait a couple weeks and then post it just to give them a little bit of space to like flex and, you know, but it helps to help me kind of see what they see and what they like because it can't all just be my eye if I'm taking a photo of somebody else. I think that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned as I've gotten better is just to talk with people and communicate more, put them at ease, crack some terrible jokes. I'm phenomenal at terrible jokes, especially on the set. And it can just like loosen the vibe completely. And that's something I totally didn't used to do because I was too like awkward and nervous. But now I kind of don't care. It's like, you know, it's cool. You took the time to come out and to have a photo shoot with me. Like, let's have a good time, put on some music, just be chill, have a good time. I see at conventions a lot of people are still working through that nervousness phase, so they'll kind of stand at the corner and be a little nervous. I totally get that, but like challenge yourself to just talk to people, and I guarantee your work will get like a million times better because you see it in the photo, you see that kind of ease. And you see a lot more of that, I think, in my work over time. Like the models look so chill and at ease. And that's something you really can't like edit into a photo, that kind of bond or trust in the image.